Hello and welcome to Sacred Akashic Healing Arts channel. I'm one of your hosts, Corinne, and in today's video, I'm actually going to be sharing a snippet from one of my own personal mentoring sessions in the Akashic Records with Valentina Mathias, who is the founder of Sacred Akashic Healing Arts and is my mentor and obviously also a co-host of this channel. And I'm bringing forward elements of my own personal journey in the Akash that are brought through as collective patterns, collective traumas and healing. And this is such an interesting one to look at. So it's all around spiritual wounding. When I started this journey with Valentina at the beginning of January, I was aware of some spiritual wounding around the activation of my third eye, and I really wanted to focus in on that. And at the time as well, I'd just gone through Valentina's shadow dream weaving course, which is mentioned in this video. And I was really actively focused on working in my dream temple through these teachings to heal things that were coming through. But what came out in this Akashic session was actually just very profound and not expected at all. But there've been a lot of signs and synchronicities up to this point, and I really wanted to share this because, as you will see in the video, actually the elders actually bring through that this is the Akash brings through this is collective, that there are many others out there that have experienced these wounds and traumas in the dream space. And I was actively working at this point in my dream temple to bring back those soul aspects of myself. And I was going through a period of which felt like I was in a waiting room. So I sort of talked to Valentina about this. I feel like I'm in this waiting room, but I feel like I really need to stay here and continue to focus on this healing work. And I was getting a lot of outside pressure from other energies to just stop my path and go back to my old path. But I knew inwardly that even though it was hard and everything seemed to be on hold, that this was something I had to really stand in my power and do. And you're going to see that comes through. So you might be experiencing that in your own world as you're going through healing on your journey, as you're being rerouted perhaps from a path that you were on initially in the to a new path, and you may be feeling that pressure outside. And this may give you some comfort, as well as some insight, some wisdom and some activations, and also ways in which you can actually actively work to bring back those soul fragments in your dreamscape. So we're just gonna dive right in.
Thank you so much, Masters and Teachers and loved ones of Corinne here in her special area of the Akash. Can we ask this aspect of Corinne, the male Merlin person, would you please tell us what it was that Corinne, you said you can find, you know what it is, you know how to find what it was she was looking for this morning. What is it that she was looking for? He's saying you were looking for your consciousness. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's just making me giggle because I guess so, because I'm looking to bring back all parts of myself.
Yeah.
I feel like there's some, like I've said to you, a little bit of a block, or that my gifts are supposed to be a lot more full colour.
Yeah, you're supposed to, what did the fathom say?
Feel like I just everything's supposed to be full colour, very magical.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. You want all your senses, it would be more helpful. And that that when I was doing the reading, I said that you're actually supposed to be able to see people's soul, see the meridians light up and guide the soul into the body. Yeah. Are we talking to the correct person? See the soul, guide the meridians in. He so she was just saying, I've done that forever. That's what I do. Thank you. What are you helping her find? The pieces of the consciousness. He's just saying that dream that you had of being in the sexual dungeon area or torture area. He's saying you just need to understand you've been in some lifetimes that have been very damaging. So you've had to split your consciousness and put it in packets around you so that it's safe, and just focus in on one thing, which is turning, in that case, just turn it into pleasure. So I'm asking him, how can you help Corinne or find what she's looking for? He's just saying consciousness is the work of the shadow, what we're calling the shadow at the moment, the way the elders taught it, and to keep asking your shadow self to find it and to order and harmonize it and to show it. He's saying you actually have been. That's why you got the dream, to show it to you without the pain. Show me what happened without the pain, because you've actually already, whether you realize it or not, you've said to your shadow self, which is your 95% of your consciousness, that's unconscious, but it's consciousness, unseen consciousness. You've actually already said, I think, I need to see what's happened, but I don't want to go through the pain again. But in order to retrieve all these aspects of my consciousness, I need you to find them and bring them to me and order and harmonize them, and not have the pain with it. And it's taking you to, that's what's gradually taking you to the part of yourself that's been shut away and lost. And he's saying, yes, that's where the word lost comes from. It's the part of you that got lost because you had to split your consciousness in some of your lifetimes. And you have actually called for each packet of information to come back to you. And he's saying to me, it's come closer. It's in her aura. Like he's saying to me, remember specifically this morning, your guide said you have to tell her it's in her aura. It's not just, originally I wrote to you, you're looking for something around you that's lost. And then my guide said, you have to tell her that it's in her aura. Because I could see it around you, but they were saying it's actually in her aura and she needs to know that. So he's saying the point of that message was to say you've brought it all really close, all the lost things that you've been looking for. So I'm saying to him, thank you so much. And I'm asking him what we do. Is Corinne going along fine, like with this, because she's so focused on it? He's saying yes, and it just continue with everything you're doing. And it ties in with the fact that you knew you were in the waiting room. This is so beautiful. You were actually waiting for all these packages to come back to you. And you weren't going to, you're like a mother that wasn't going to move until it's like, this is where I am because this is where my children know I am, and I'm going to stay here until they come back. If I go, they won't find me. So, yeah, that was part of the waiting room. It was like, I know everyone's giving me grief, not our community, everyone else, but they don't understand that if I leave this waiting room, then my children or my packets of me can't actually find me. Yeah. Wow. So that's why you've got the feeling that you can start to move out now, because you've got them with you and you can start to unpack them. Yeah.
It was only like a week and a half ago that I had that dungeon dream.
Yeah.
I went in and asked for, again, about bringing back parts of myself. So amazing.
Yeah. Oh, did you? Did you ask that question?
I did. I was going to a dream temple. I said, I'm ready to do the work. I'm ready to see. I want to bring back. I know there's parts of it.
I forgot. You probably told me that. I forgot that.
No, I don't think I did. Until
wow. Yeah.
And they showed it, and I was a bit like, oh, I'm a bit scared, but I was like, I just need to do this because I knew they were taking me into a past life. and I was part of these girls that were being tortured, and it was, yeah. So I knew but they did only leave me with in the morning. I didn't see it in its full horror. I just
Yeah.
knew what. So I realised that they'd showed it me in a way that was much easier for me to process it without
Yeah.
it being
Yeah.
traumatic.
Yeah.
Even though it was, but I was very neutral towards it. I just felt it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah. And there'll be more. I don't know if they'll be that bad, but because
Yeah.
this is what you've said, I want to see it. Whether you realise it or not, you said I'm staying put until it's all brought back, and then you've immediately moved into I want to see what these packets are. And he's saying yes, and he's you. He's saying yes. You're. He's saying it's just a matter for you of working in the human 3D world. It's like you're not in this prism of energy in the Akash in that area anymore. So you figured out, okay, I need to be here. I need to work through this as it is in this reality, so that I can get myself back to all my gifts. And he's saying, yeah, exactly. More damage was done on your journey than you expected. So you've committed to, over lifetimes, you've committed to stay in one spot to bring it all back, and fix it and release it, and be able to see. Yeah,
I love it. Beautiful.
I love it too. So I might ask him, seeing as we're here, and I haven't forgotten about your course either.
Hello.
Seeing as we're here, can we ask about spiritual wounding, please? Master teachers and loved ones, this beautiful Merlin male aspect of Corinne. Can we ask about spiritual wounding in her life at the moment? Your spiritual wounding is that at some stage you were trapped in the dream state and couldn't come back. And it's taken yourself and him, his aspect of you and your guides, all this time to kind of calm you and get you to be able to start approaching your dream state. So all the energy and time it takes for you to do everything, a lot of it is, to take the veils off, so to speak. He said that's the spiritual wounding, is that you were trapped. You've been trapped in the dream state before. And what else happened? When was she trapped in the dream state? Okay, this is interesting. You were trapped in a dream state directly before this incarnation, and the only way you could get out of it was by incarnating. So, yeah. And he's saying, yeah. He said, you figured it out. He said, you figure everything out eventually. You couldn't get out, and you were just trapped in a dream state. I'm saying, well, what's wrong with being in the dream state? It's, cosmic consciousness anyway. He's saying, yes, but you didn't have free will. You were just trapped in a dream state.
Okay.
And you knew that you were being kept in that container so that you wouldn't be able to do for Earth what you want to do, wouldn't be able to be on your highest timeline or your mission.
Like being held hostage or something, but in
Yeah.
the dream almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you figured out that in that state, you had to find a way to make an agreement with your mother, with your family, to come through as a soul, because you can do that that in the dream state. Even though you were trapped, you can go into other people's dreams as well. And he's saying, yes, that's exactly what happened. Wow. And you stayed in, you were normal, even though you've got experiences of, being picked up and taken out of the way of that truck and things like that. But you pursued a normal life. You towed the line, and that was important. That was part of it. That was important too, because it was important that you got the chance to grow up, so that you could come onto your timeline of who you are, and that you had to get to the point where you had enough independence, like owning your own house, to be able to say, no, I've got other things, respectfully, no, I've got other things to do. And you needed to get to the point where you're able to do that, without the encumbrance of, marriage and children and mortgage, and yeah. And there's a part in your heart that's actually so happy about it. It's like, yeah. I did do that. I did all of that on purpose. I know. I want, there's a part of you that knows, that was like, I was never, ever going to get trapped again. Not in this life either. Maybe temporarily, like a job or things like that. Yeah. But that your heart knew, like, no one's trapping me. I'm going to, and no system is going to trap me. I'm going to step into my power when I'm ready. Wow, thank you for letting us know. Is there anything more that Corinne can do for her spiritual wounding around the dreamscape? And is it directly linked to what she can see? He said all of the packets of what you've retrieved are linked to your vision opening, plus the spiritual wounding in the dreamscape, dream temple, dream state. And he's saying we've specifically sent the information out to the world through the elders, to people like me, to you, and many others, because we want this healing for people like Corinne, who have been trapped in the dream state. And in fact, this is what's happening to people who are trapped in a mental illness. Is they are trapped in another prism of energy that they can't come down into their bodies correctly. And he's saying, and he's saying, we know you understand, because we know that you know that could have been you too, if you weren't determined, that you could have gone down that track of having a mental illness too. And he's saying, and your friend's been put in that box where, when she was younger, her family put her in a mental institution.
Right.
So it does happen to people, and it doesn't, it takes strong determination to go, I'm not going to be in that prison. I'm coming into my earth body. And he said the spiritual wounding that goes with all of that is being trapped in the dream state and not being able to come into the 3D life, and not being able to go anywhere else either. But you managed to come through. So
wow, that is
well
amazing.
done. Yeah. So I'm asking him again, is there anything more we can do for that wounding? He's saying just follow the protocols from the elders, as in shadow dream weaving, because they have taught it correctly, and we can see that you've, now that you've gathered the packets around you, you're able to start normalizing your process in the evenings for yourself, and go into the dream state, because I'm saying, why could that not be healed before? And he's saying, it's you're really determined to have everything moving forward at an even pace. So you wanted other packets of lost energy around you as well. Yeah. So that he's saying that for you, and he is you, he's saying that for you, this is what your success is about, and that you would actually have considered it a tragedy if you'd become super successful before you had all of your pieces of you around you, because you would have known that that meant that, you know, it would be hard for you to find them because there was more things you had to deal with.
Yeah.
And he's saying you would have considered that a tragedy and a failed incarnation, but the way it's actually happening now is your version of success. So,
yeah,
because it's being successful is about being of service. It's for you. It's not about being famous. You know,
100%.
That's not the point. That's just part of it. It's just, but you need to be well known in order to be of service. But you also very much need all the grounding, earthing energy that comes with having all of you with you, and dealing with it. And you here, it's like your third eye is saying to me, and I also never want to go through that again. So be stuck in the dreamscape. So I'm going to make sure that every single thing is dealt with so that I'm not open and vulnerable to be locked up like that again, because it happened because I had to split my consciousness. So,
wow.
Thank you. Yeah. Wow. And your third eye is just beaming at the moment. It's like, oh, at last.
Like, click, 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 that is.
Click, click, click. Yeah.
And I can go so much more focused now into the dream temple with that information.
Yeah.
Integrate.
Great.
So how amazing was that? So profound, and really opening us up to realize how important it is that we work consciously and intentionally in our dream time, in our dreamscapes. And we could see that message that came through from the elders that confirmed this is a collective message, that spiritual wounding that I went through, many other souls went through that spiritual wounding as well, and are here in this now time-space reality to bring back those consciousness parts and to ensure in this lifetime that you move onto your highest timeline. And in doing that, we've got to face those other energies, those programs that come up that try and move us off our path when we're not seeing things shift as quickly as we're being programmed to believe things should shift for us. Some things take time to integrate into the body, to bring back, and it's worth taking that time in order to do that and make sure that you come onto your highest timeline. So you might be interested, you know, if you've not done any mastery teachings around dream time, you know, this really changed the way. When I did Valentina's shadow dream weaving master teachings, it really changed how I worked in my dream time, and I really started to integrate and heal at an accelerated pace and really take back control of my dream landscape. And you know, since doing that, my dreams have become so much more lucid. I've been aware of so many more messages and information that comes through in dream time. I've been really able to work with my dream space to really heal and align myself with that timeline. So it's been amazing. I definitely would recommend it. So you can check out the links below if you're interested in that. And you know, thank you for joining us in this video. Please do like, share, and leave any comments on any of your, you know, experiences. And we'll see you on the next video. Thank you.